Mm. Mm. Hi, Jen. Hi, Jen. Can you hear me?
Hi. Sorry, I'm having, I don't normally have Zoom on my phone and then all these.
That's okay. I appreciate you joining through Zoom or through your mobile.
Yeah, no worries. I think everything is set.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm Kyle. I'm the one that's going to be conducting this dry run with you, as well as the research sessions with end users. So happy that you could run through this because we just want to make sure the timing works, the flow of our questions makes sense, so it helps out a bunch. So during this dry run, you're going to be pretending to be an end user, someone that we possibly recruited for this study. And you're really just going to kind of play along as much as you can. Just kind of put yourself into the shoes of an end user. And any questions that I ask, feel free to make it up as you go along. Just anything that makes sense to you. If something's too hard, just feel free to say, you know what, skip that one. I'm not sure what someone would actually do or say at that moment. And that's fine. We can skip it.
Mhm.
During this time, I'm going to be sharing some links with you to view the mobile prototypes. You'll be sharing your screen. And before I kind of flip into my moderator script here, any questions about the dry run before we begin? No? Okay. All right, great. All right, so I'm just going to note the time here. So we have that. All right. Well, thank you so much again for joining today. I want to start by explaining what this is all about, why you've been asked to participate. So, we're conducting this research study with users like yourself to get feedback on a new service on the platform. And we want to make sure that this new service is easy to use and that it fits your needs. So during this Zoom together, I'm going to start by just asking you some warm-up questions. Then I'm going to have you try a couple of tasks using a prototype on your phone. And I want to make clear right away that this is going to be an evaluation of those prototypes, not of you. There's nothing wrong that you can do here. It's all about your honest opinion. So hopefully this is just a relaxed and fun activity for you. And I want to make clear, or I want to make you aware that there are some folks who are on the team who are listening in. They're doing that just because they're always excited to get firsthand feedback from potential end users, but they're not going to be bothering us at all. Just be the both of us that are talking.
That's good.
And if it's all right with you, would you be okay if I record this session just for note taking?
Yep.
Okay, I appreciate that. The video won't be shared outside of the team of people who are working on the website. And if during this meeting, if you need to take a break or stop any point, please feel free to do so. Let me just start that recording here. Okay, looks like we're recording. Any questions for me before I dive into my list of questions for you?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, one question. In the event that I'm like switching back and forth from Zoom to the website and there's like a disconnection, do I just hop back in the Zoom?
Yeah, you'll pop right back into the mobile Zoom. I'm going to be having you share your mobile screen.
Mhm.
So I'll be sending you links to the prototypes in the chat window of this. So you should be able just to tap on it, share your screen, and it shouldn't kick you out. But if it does, just come right back.
Okay. That's good.
All right. All right. So just to get started here, I was wondering if you could tell me, how do you typically hear about local issues in your area?
Um, I hear about local issues through various news sources. Sometimes it's a daily newsletter that I subscribe to, or it's on social media. I follow a couple of reporters. I also just hear about it from people that I meet on a regular basis.
With social media, do you have any Facebook groups or anything that's particular to either your town or your city or state?
I have, I think, like one of the main reporters I follow, he's based in New York, so I feel like there's more like New York coverage. I'm not really in like Facebook groups.
Okay, that's good to know. And how do people in your city typically give input or influence decisions?
I know many can like write into the representative. A lot of like via social media too, people often share resources for like how to write to your representative or how to find your representative. I know there's also some like actual live meetings that are held. I think people attend those and then express their opinions there. But I personally haven't been to one of
That's exactly, I was just going to follow up and ask if that's something you've ever done.
them. Mm-mm.
Any reason why you haven't?
Um, I don't know. I feel like I guess like one for me, I wouldn't say I'm the most extroverted person. So it's like doesn't sound like a particularly fun
Mhm.
idea to me, unless maybe I was like going with someone, like going with a group of people, then I, have a bit more, I guess, motivation to go. But like on my own, I don't know if that's like my the main source I would seek out. Like I would prefer something like a digital method.
Gotcha. Okay. And are there any other ways that you're aware, whether formal or informal, of how people typically give input?
Um, Not off the top of my head.
Okay. All right. And have you yourself ever shared an idea or given feedback about something in your city?
Um, I have sometimes I get I guess one other method is like I receive phone calls sometimes about maybe this is actually just kidding. I take that back. I don't think this is like input for the city, but it's just like survey takers. And yeah, it just wouldn't necessarily be like the city, but it's people who have interests in the particular topic. They're like surveying people and getting like feedback. And so I will at times take those surveys over the phone.
Okay. All right. And how do you feel about those surveys?
For the most, like the I like that the ones I've taken and like completed, I like that they're like I think I just like I like talking to them in the sense that like they know that they don't want to like lose the person responding, and so the questions are like pretty efficient, like they're like very professional about it. Um and yeah, I think it's like I think in an era where there are like so many spam calls, when I do get to connect to a person and they're just like genuinely trying to like get feedback from the community, I'm like, you know what, why I can take couple minutes out of my day to like express something. And yeah, generally positive.
Okay. And have you ever gone to any kind of town meeting or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. All right. So in a minute, I'm going to ask you to share your screen so that I can follow along as you try out a prototype. But first, let me just give you some brief instructions about how to approach using the prototype during this Zoom together. So, the number one thing you can do for me that's most helpful is just to think out loud for me. Just you can feel free to read out loud anything that you're reading on the screen, and just kind of give me a little bit of a play-by-play of what you're doing. You may hear me asking, "What are you thinking?" just to encourage this. And like I said before, all about your honest opinions. So just be as candid as possible. If something is confusing or frustrating, please say so. If something works well, that's just as valuable to hear.
Okay.
And since this is a prototype, some areas won't be fully functional. If you hit a dead end, just tell me what you would expect to see happen and we'll continue. Last but not least, feel free to ask me any questions at all during this time together. I'm going to do my best to answer your questions, but I want to let you know up front there may be some questions about the prototype that I cannot answer. And that's just because the purpose of this is to see what if you could do something if we weren't on the Zoom together. But
Mhm.
if I can shed light on anything at the end, I promise I will. All right. Any questions for me?
No,
Okay, so I kind of lied a little bit. The first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you to kind of set the scenario here for what you're about to see. So let me do that. I'm going to share a portion of my screen. Hold on, bear with me 1 second here. Share, and we will do. Okay. Okay, so you should be able to see just a portion of my screen. Is that right?
mhm.
Okay, so we're going to assume in this scenario that you have just received the following text message. Feel free to take a moment to read that.
For 2026 priorities, your ideas proposals for makers, your big piece from quick to see. Okay.
Okay, so what are you thinking now after seeing this kind of message?
Um, It's asking me to input ideas for city planning. But I think my initial reaction to a text like this is like, it's probably phishing. So yeah, I think I think that's like my first thought is like, is this a phishing message? Like, is this link gonna do something malicious to my phone? But then I look at the link and it does look more legit than the other phishing messages I've received. It's not like random letters. It says Fair Bridge. I'm assuming Fair Bridge is a city, and then yeah, so it does look like a more legitimate link. And I think that if I had signed up for this or I was like, expecting this text, then yeah, I wouldn't have any concerns.
Okay, but if you did not specifically sign up for anything, getting this, you mentioned it might at first make you feel like it might be phishing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good to know. And if, assuming you didn't sign up for anything, you received this, what would you be most likely to do next from here?
Assuming I didn't think it was phishing.
Well, let's just assume that you didn't sign up for anything, but you just received this text message kind
To
of
be
random.
honest, I wouldn't click it.
That's
Like,
okay. Yeah, your
yeah.
honesty, that's perfect, perfectly fine. Yep. So you
Yeah.
wouldn't click it. That's good to know.
Mm-mm.
And you wouldn't click it because
If I didn't sign up for it, I don't have any context, then I don't really have a reason to trust it. And unless I'm like, I don't know, someone who had like very strong thoughts about citywide planning that I was like willing to take that risk to click this and then give my thoughts, I don't see why I would.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. But if I was interested, I could see myself like trying to Google it separately just to like verify if it was like a real initiative. Um, and then if I did see that, then I could, I would then proceed.
Okay. No, that's super helpful to know. And it does help us out a lot to know that that has that fear around it. And if you were to tap on that link, what would you expect to see next, assuming it's legitimate?
I would expect to see proposals. Um, yeah, I would expect to see like a list of proposals and then probably like a field where I can enter my own ideas.
And are you visualizing that in any way? What, like, how would you expect that to be presented to you?
Um, Almost like a like text, and then vote to support or not support.
Mhm.
Kind of like like Webby Awards or something like that, where it's like they list people and then you like vote or not vote. So
Gotcha. Okay. And what, if anything, would make this message just more clear and trustworthy?
I think saying who is sending it, like is it from the city? Is it from change.org? Is it from a different org called Ideas for Change? Like, is it? I think it's unclear to me. Yeah, especially if I didn't sign up for it, it's unclear to me who's sending it. It's also like, is it like what is their motivation for sending it? Like I was telling you earlier, when I pick up the calls, sometimes it's like parties invested in the actual policy, which makes me. I think I approach it more differently. If it's like an independent research firm, I'm like a little bit more willing to um, take the time to help them because it's not like I feel like there's just not like an ulterior motive apart from just trying to get more information to further research. It's not like
And
they're trying to use whatever I give them to, I don't know, advance their own motivations in a way that I may not be aware of.
gotcha, yeah. And you were right in your assumption too when you first looked at that, that Fairbridge is a made-up city. And I was wondering if you saw this coming directly from your own city, how would that if change your view of this, if at all?
So if I already knew Fairbridge was my city, I think I would still have the question of like, is this run by like a nonprofit in my city? Is this run by the city itself? Is it run by uh like the leading political party in my city? I think I would still have the same question.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to just assume that you wanted to proceed with it, and we'll tap it and get your reaction to what this is like. I'll stop sharing my screen now. And this is a point where I'll be sending you the link to the mobile version of the prototype here for you to try out. So let me just copy that link and I'll send it into the chat window. So I'm wondering if sometimes sending the link first is better than having you share first, sometimes vice versa. Let's start. I'm going to have you share your screen first, and then I'm going to send you the link in chat and see how that works.
Okay.
Yeah. And do you need any instructions on how to do that? How to share your mobile screen?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay. I think it should be
Great.
working.
Yeah, I can see your screen, which is perfect. So now I'm going to, in the chat window here, send you the link to tap on. Okay, so this is the first page of the prototype. And again, after reading that text message, we're going to assume that you have an idea to improve your city. For example, it could be something as simple as, creating safer crosswalks near schools. I'd like for you to proceed from this point with using the prototype to write and share your idea.
Increase posting. This is interesting. We can uh, get help to improve this. Don't really know, not quite sure what constructive means, but I'll try it. If I can click on it, be okay.
And yeah, I can let you know that the AI tools they're not functional right now, but it'd be great to
Okay.
know what you would expect to have happen there.
Yeah. Hopefully it makes sense to me, like a more inspiring language, convincing that also makes sense to me. Unifying. I don't quite understand the difference between like unifying and convincing. I would feel that the outcome might be very similar.
Ah, okay.
Um, yeah, maybe I guess unifying is, yeah, I don't know. I would expect the outcome to be similar. And then constructive, I, yeah, this is taking me a little bit of time to like think on like try to guess what it might mean. But constructive, I would guess is like framing it in a way, it's like I think of like constructive criticism. So maybe if your prompt was particular, like was maybe more like attacking or something like that, it like rephrases it to be more constructive.
Yeah.
Okay, I will add my idea. Um, so I'm confused if I need to enter my name if I wanted to post it anonymously and all the other information because I see the continue button doesn't um, change color. So I'm assuming I need to put in all this information. Um,
And how do you feel about that?
if I wanted to post anonymously, I would expect that information wouldn't be collected. I can also see for like verification purposes, so it's not like, people like mass adding too many proposals. I can understand. I guess I think, no, I don't know. I think if it's anonymous, then I would want a little more information on top of what do you mean like verified local voices? Like if it's I feel like I would almost be more like willing to just proceed if it said like said a little more than just verify local voices, maybe like
Yeah.
I don't know, ensure like if you're ensuring everyone is like from the community, or like you like need the authenticity, like who's gonna I think I still have the disconnect of like if it's anonymous, who's doing the verifying and how do I know that that's going to be kept anonymous and anonymous from who? Like if I am entering this information, like someone is going to see it. And so it's not
Hmm.
completely anonymous, or there's like a chance it wouldn't be anonymous. So
Right.
I think I would want a little more information on that. Yeah, maybe the framing um like an independent, we're an independent party or independent source, like collecting this, making sure it's authentic, but you're, yeah, just clarifying who it's going to be anonymous from.
Okay.
Anonymous
That's
on the
helpful.
platform, I guess, but
Hmm.
yeah. I think it's cool. It's fun discussion. I think it would be cool if you like saw, like, had a little box and then just saw what you just submitted, have that as a share.
Ah, so seeing like a mini version of it or something?
Yeah, because if I think in my head it makes it more clear like that it's my post that I'm sharing as opposed to like not just like sharing this website.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Is now I saw you tap the uh was that Messenger, Facebook Messenger?
I tapped WhatsApp
Oh, WhatsApp.
and
Mhm.
then I was testing, then I was testing email.
Yeah, I don't know that they all work, but it is good to know which ones you would select at this point.
Oh, if it, I would do, I would actually do iMessage or like text, or I don't know. WhatsApp isn't my default.
Hmm.
I usually just use iMessage, so I would look for that first.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
And then, yeah, probably texting, maybe Instagram.
Any other options you would want to see here?
No, that covers it. Oh, I see the post is down here. That's a copy link go to. Oh, okay. So it is actually just a link to the website, or is it meant to be to my post?
And when you say the link,
When it says
oh, you
copy
mean the
link.
copy like, oh
Mhm.
yes, yep. That would be, well, before I answer that, what would you expect based off of what you see here?
I would expect it to go to my post or
And
my idea.
and that would be correct. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, it was interesting, how you mentioned earlier that you would want to see some kind of visual, like probably mini version of it.
Mhm.
Um, how do you feel about the way they're doing it here?
I think it's fine, but I think maybe because like the size of my screen, it could be different for I think larger phones maybe. I just didn't see it until I scrolled down.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Like I stopped like right here, with
Yeah.
like the share options, and then I saw it. I
Mhm.
was like, oh yeah.
And what would you be most likely to do next at this point?
Yeah, yeah, very cool. Your voice can keep the picture. Loading off its the strongest ideas, not this one common ground. Truly empty retail spaces. Sure. And then I think I would just continue to vote. I like seeing how many have voted like for and against.
Oh,
That's interesting. Also, I think the like higher numbers in, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. The swiping. Yeah, I do like seeing the numbers because it makes me feel like other people are participating, so like it's motivation for me to also participate.
mm.
Other idea. Interesting. Yeah, very cool.
Anything else you would do from here?
I think I would vote, and I think I would. I right now. I don't think you can see, but I'm like clicking on the 47,000 votes up here just to see if clicking it would go to
Oh,
anything.
that's good to know because, yeah, we can't see that.
Mhm. Yeah.
And what would you expect to see if you were able to tap on that number?
Yeah. I was thinking it would like lead to a list and just show like the top ideas that people like because I can't see like a full list here. I'm just like seeing the individual ones.
Hmm.
So I'm like curious without having to go through all of these, like I'm curious what's like the leading idea that people think about.
Oh, that's interesting that you would be curious to see that, yeah.
Mhm. And
And you mentioned that you liked how you could flip through these.
Mhm.
Uh, d- I'm sure it depends on what's going on in the moment, but how many of them do you think you would possibly vote on before leaving?
Maybe like 10. And then I think that I would, given that like the site is just here now, I think I would just like leave it open on my phone. And then if I'm like commuting or like if have time later on or I'm bored, like I would go back to it and then I think I would like continue to vote on more.
Okay. And now, after you've submitted your idea, uh, I'm just curious overall, what did you think of this experience of submitting an idea to your city?
It's cool. It feels like a very direct connection, especially for someone like we discussed before, like that I don't attend like in-person town hall meetings. So it feels more direct than like writing a letter to my representative because who knows if that inbox like who like an aide is probably going to read it. Is it really going to reach the right type of people? But this seems like a more direct connection in the sense that um, if I'm seeing other people's ideas, then that means other people are seeing my ideas. And it also makes me feel like I'm like, okay, maybe I want to go back and make my idea a little better. I submitted the idea without like knowing. I think like looking at other people's ideas makes me want to either refine or think of some other suggestions for my city that I think would actually really help.
And initially, there was a lot of fear about what this was. Was it phishing? Now that you've seen it in action and what it can do, anything you think could be changed to help get people to see what this is and how they can submit ideas?
Mhm. Um, I think for me, it would help knowing this is city sponsored or like some like sponsored by some other organization. I know it has like the C dot logo on the top left, and I know what that is just because I work for change, but I feel like if I was entering this website not knowing what that logo was, I would still be a little suspicious of like, okay, this is like a nice looking website, but like who's running this and why?
Mm, yeah.
But if I saw maybe like the city's logo on top or like the full change.org logo, like then it's like a brand or it's like a company I recognize, and then I have a better it makes more sense to me. Uh, so I think yeah, I'm not sure if it's If I'm skewed or like, I'm like biased towards this, but I think for me, I just like really want to know who's doing it. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah,
And what do you think could be changed to make it easier to actually submit an idea?
easier to see an idea. Mm, I feel like overall it was pretty easy. Mm,
And
the
you know
only
what?
thing
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, the only thing I can think of is the the name, email, and address pop up after. That was like the only real barrier. But I
Mhm.
also know like that's probably important for verification purposes. So yeah.
Yeah, let's take a closer look at that. I think if you tap the letter R on your keyboard, I wonder if it'll do that to get you back to the start of it.
Oh, if I can tap on my keyboard without like
But
that.
yeah, that probably won't work here. Okay, what we'll do is I'm gonna have you, if you open up the chat window, if you tap that link again, it'll start from the beginning.
Mhm,
Great. So from here, just to get your thoughts, we'll step through it again and just went had a couple of follow-up questions here. Uh, let's hear if you were to just start typing there. I know you noticed that the options to improve writing were there.
mhm,
I was wondering what you thought. You mentioned that it was confusing, these options here. Um, and I was wondering if there was anything else that you thought might help you to write your ideas faster or more confidently.
mm. I think what I mentioned before of like it for me, like it helps seeing what other people have written, or like it helps. I think it helps like jog my like thinking if
Yeah.
I see what's already been submitted or like the type of like the level of detail people have put in. Um, because I feel like there are ideas and then there are like specific ideas, and it's like it. I think it helps seeing examples. So maybe here, like if I saw right under this like Fear Bridge logo, and like what's something you would change about Fear Bridge, or like somewhere on this page, if it said like here are the top ideas right now, or like something like that, to like get my thinking going, or yeah, I think that would help me
Okay. All right, that's
because
helpful.
I guess it is down here.
Yeah, but it's helpful to know that I think initially you didn't scroll down to see that right away.
Mhm.
So no,
I
that's
think
good to know.
the one other thing is like instead of like I guess this would be helpful, but I think like here the top like the same way I was talking about like maybe clicking on the 126 ideas in the top right corner and like seeing like the list or something like that.
Mhm.
Like seeing like here are the top three ideas and just like listed as opposed to like having to vote on things to see just like a snapshot of what's already been like but it's like seeing a snapshot of like the ideas and what people have voted before you need to like engage and do the voting yourself.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. And when you submit your idea, what do you expect will happen afterward?
I'll submit my idea. I expect that people will vote on it. Because I gave my email, I think I would expect updates via email on like how many people have voted on my idea. Um, and then I think I would also expect some sort of like, okay, like what now? Like what what happens with the voting? Are we just voting and then does it go to someone, or does it get discussed, or is the city like picking a few and then wanting to act on them?
Okay, and you mentioned when it was asking you for your name, you had some really great feedback there about if it's anonymous, not wanting to or not wanting to give your name, but if you did, you want to know, why and who's getting this information, which I thought was very important to know. Anything else that would make you feel safer sharing your information?
Um, yeah, I think just apart from just like the clarity of like who's receiving it, what's going to be used for, I don't think so. If I knew it was just going to be shared with, like if this, if my, I actually still at this point, sorry if it's background noise. At this point, I don't know if my idea is going to be like shared with, I guess, like city officials. Like I don't know where my ideas are going to go. And so I think if I had that clarity, then I would be like, oh yeah, this is a city sponsored process. I'm submitting ideas. My name, like anonymous on the website, but would be shared by city officials to prove I'm a real person. And be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so just a little explanation would go a long way there.
Mhm.
And then when you're sharing your idea, tell me like who would you share your idea with first?
I think I would share it with um, friends, whoever like lives in my city where it would be like relevant.
Mhm.
And then because I think I would be like, look, this is my idea, vote for it. But also like if the person like lives in the city, I think this would also be cool for them. Be like, hey, look, you can like submit your idea too.
And you mentioned earlier being, a little bit introverted that you don't like to attend meetings. What would you do? Can you foresee yourself actually sharing this, or would you still feel a little bit scared to do so?
Sharing like what do you mean? Via text or you mean
Oh, in any way, whether it be text or on a social group or.
yeah, no, I don't think I would have any hesitation like sharing via text or like with the for like with people I know.
All right. And is there anything that would make you more likely to share this with others that it would be, relevant in your area?
Um, Maybe that would make it more likely. I don't think so. I
Okay.
think yeah, I think um yeah, I think it's like I would share it with people who live in my city, like friends, family, because it would also be of interest to them. And I think for the most part, like I think the main motivation would be like look at the top ideas that are or look at the top things that are being voted on in our city. Like this is like the top. I think that would be the more like interesting point. Um, I don't think my main motivation would be like vote for my idea. It would be like there's this website, like look at the top things that people are saying, and then also you can submit your own idea. I think I would just be interested in like what others in my city have to say and what is like very or most strongly being voted
And how would you feel if your idea didn't get picked for discussion?
on. I think that's okay. Unless I guess it was like an idea that I thought was like really good or like really um, I felt really strongly about. I think that would be different. Like right now, I was just like making some suggestions. Um, but I think because there are such a wide variety of ideas here, like I can understand if um, mine won't be selected. But I think it's cool that it's at least in the public forum so that people can see it. And then, and if others also feel strongly about it, then eventually I assume that it would get elevated.
And what kind of explanation, if any, would you expect if your idea didn't get picked?
I don't really know if I needed an explanation. I think I would just want to be able to see like the ranking of what the current top voted ideas are. I think it's like it's pretty intuitive to me. Like if it's not highly voted on, then it might not get picked. I guess in the scenario where my idea was one of the top and then didn't get picked, then I think I would have stronger opinions on that. I think I would want to know how whoever's doing the picking, maybe like a city committee, how they made this selection. If it's like, based on budget, based on whatever department bandwidth, like I would want like a brief, like, blurb or something when they're like, thanks for all the people who like participated. Like these are the three ideas that the city's gonna work on right now. And this is why. It doesn't even
Mhm.
necessarily need to be like a reason that why mine didn't get selected. It's more like what were the reasons for selecting the ones that did get selected.
Gotcha. All right. And uh, for your city, what kind of ideas, if any, would you be most likely to share here?
My like actual city,
Oh, say that
or
again?
do you mean like for like Fairbridge or for where I actually live?
Oh, no, for your actual city.
Mm. Yeah, I think no, yeah. Now that I think about it, I feel like bicycling is probably one. Um, I mean, and there's like things I'm like, I don't even know if this is can be really solved, but I would love for it to get a lot of votes so that we can at least like elevate that it's something that everyone suffers from, which is like people are just so crazy with road rage. It's like you really don't need to be honking that crazily because it's like all it's doing is making people who live in that area have to suffer from that. And so it's like stuff like that, like um quality of living type of thing.
And are there any kinds of issues that you feel would be out of scope for this?
I don't think so. I think what I like about this is that like it's not just like um it feels like it's not just policy idea things where it's like whatever we vote on in a ballot. I just completed my ballot the other day. It's like I wouldn't necessarily put in an idea here like um or I would, I might not have all the full background to be like, let's allocate this budget for this for A instead of B. Like,
Mm, yeah.
it's here it seems more like I can share an idea like reduce noise pollution and then that would be translated into actionable things by policymakers.
Hmm.
Like obviously, like that would like my idea of like reduce noise pollution like isn't going to be on like a ballot because it's not an like, what do you mean by that? This like it's not an actionable thing, but at least I can submit my idea here, and then if it has enough interest, then policymakers can think about actual solutions to address it. And it's not like I'm being tasked with like make it a city ordinance to prevent excessive honking from 10 p.m. to it's like I don't have to think about that because I'm not the expert on that. So I think
Hmm.
I think um, I like that it's accessible where you can just add general ideas or sentiments without the pressure of being like no one's asking me to be a policy expert. I
And
don't know if that answered your question.
oh, yeah, yeah. Now, when you first saw the text message and I was asking you, what are you visualizing what you would see here? Did this surprise you at all in any way, the way that uh, you submit ideas?
Yeah, I think when I saw the text, I expected more to focus on other people's ideas, but I think it was like a slight difference in that this is the way the site is presented first is like asking you for your idea, and then you see everyone else's.
Hmm.
Not necessarily bad, it's just different.
Okay, no, that's good to know. That was an expectation. And I have another prototype to show you, but before I do that, I just wanted to ask one other question. On a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 equals I'd never use this, and 10 equals I'd absolutely use this, where would you place yourself right now on this scale?
Eight.
And what made you pick an 8?
Mm, I think it's pretty low cost. Like all I've done is submit my name and my email and my address. Um, it seems like a cool idea to get a sense get a sense of what like my fellow city dwellers are thinking. And in the event I do have like a really great idea, like better than just add by claims, like then I know where to go to submit it. Um, but I think, yeah, I think I would want more information on like what actually happens once I submit. I think that if um, nothing really happens after I submit this, or I don't like hear enough about like what happens after the next steps, then I think it would that 8 would probably drop.
Ah, that's good to know. You want to have more information about the next steps.
I think it's like it's a really interesting thing. It seems like I expressed before, it just seems like a more direct way to like engage with stuff that's happening in my city. But if I do this and then not that much happens, or I don't really hear about like what is like which ideas are picked or anything like that, then I would be like, oh, did it? What was that?
And
Would I use it again?
would there need to be anything else that would have to change to move you 1 or 2 points higher to a 9 or a 10? What do you think?
Mm, I think if I did see that it worked really well, then I think I would be pretty excited about it, and I would tell more people or try to use it more. Yeah, I think it's more of like the remaining 9 or like moving to a 9 or 10 is more about like does it actually work?
Yeah. Okay. And I just sent you a link in the chat window to see another prototype here. Now, for this one, we're going to imagine that you saw a message in a neighborhood group about an idea. And when you clicked on the link, this is what you saw.
Mhm. Um, I feel like mm, I would almost want to see like a counter perspective or like, yeah,
Oh, can you tell me more about that? A counter perspective.
yeah. I mean, I think it's really hard for stuff like this. It's like hard to do just like a straight like vote yes, vote no, because like this is this there is like truth here. Maybe break-ins have increased, residents don't feel safe walking anymore, but is adding police presence like the actual solution? Debatable. So it's like, how do I agree that this is an issue that needs to be addressed? I don't know. I think I would just be interested in like there has to be someone else who has a different idea about this, and so I would almost want to try to find someone else who has proposed an alternative solution, or I guess I would have add my own. Or I think it's also like I would want Anne to know that there are other perspectives. Like why adding more police, but like the downsides of that. Maybe she already knows that, but there's like not that much space for like communication here,
Mm.
which might not be the point, which is fine.
That's super helpful. Is there anything else you would want to know or need to know before voting?
Um, I mean, I think if I lived in the city, maybe I would have a sense or like opinions about whether adding more police presence works. Um, I, yeah, so yeah, I don't know. It's almost like when you're like voting on a ballot, like you do at least, I mean, hopefully like do some like light research to read the pros and cons and make a
Hmm.
decision. But here, I guess you could on the side like do your research and then vote. But um, yeah.
And just in the remaining 5 minutes we have, I'm going to have you vote on this.
Hmm. Hmm. So I need to enter my info for my vote to count.
What do you think based on what you see here?
Um, yeah, makes sense.
How do you feel about having to provide that information?
I think same questions about like who, like how my info is going to be used, apart from just like verifying authenticity. If that's the only use, that's fine. Um, I think I could also see like being deterred from voting if I have to provide more info. I think it's because if I don't know if it was more clear to me in the beginning that to participate in this at all, I needed to like verify my identity or like do that. I think I would be more willing. Like I don't know how to explain this. Like already setting the premise of you need to verify yourself. You need I we only collect from verified people. Like okay, that makes sense. And then like then I expect to do it. I feel like
Mhm.
when there are like I don't know how to exit out of this. When there are like buttons like this, and then I when I click this, I expect it to log my no vote, and then it just
Mhm.
pops up like this. Then it feels like a hurdle, even
Uh-huh.
though I understand. Like I understand this, but and maybe I'm making this up, but I almost feel like if I had gone into this site and then from the get-go knew that I had to verify my identity or like sign up to participate in the website at all, then I feel like that makes more sense to me as
Mhm.
opposed to like clicking this and then seeing that it comes as like a little bit of a surprise. That makes sense.
Yeah, and yeah, it was unexpected. So this is super helpful. And let's have you provide your information just to proceed from there.
Not sure the field works. I can click
Oh,
continue. Okay.
and what would you do at this point?
Oh, Um,
Assuming you like the idea.
yeah. Um, I think if it was an idea I felt strongly about, I would share it, probably via text. Um, but apart from that, then I think I would want to go look at other ideas.
You'd want to look at other ideas from here. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And you gave some great feedback along the way of what you would change to make this, better experience for voting on other people's ideas. Anything else you would change here?
Mm, I think in terms of like clicking. If I clicked days left to contribute, it would be cool if there was like a little summary of what happens after the 23 days.
Okay, what happens after you would want to know that information? Yeah.
Mhm.
And you mentioned wanting to look at other ideas. What would you do from here in order to do that?
I think I would either like to go the logo to go back to the main page, or I will try to click like the blue pill on the top right to see if that leads me to like a list of ideas or something.
And feel
Uh,
free to
mhm.
tap that, I think, or one of them. Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, or if there was like if there were like below thank you for voting, if there was like get these other ideas, that could be cool too.
Mhm. Okay, well, since we're at the end of time here, I just wanted to wrap up with one other question. Do you believe that, well, I should say, how do you feel city officials like a mayor, a city council would take this kind of data, these kinds of ideas and the amount of people who voted for them or against them?
Mhm. Um, I think that as long as there's like a significant number of participants, they should probably take it seriously. It's almost like a goal of what people think. And so I think that given there are, I don't know how many ways there are to like for people to submit ideas to a city apart from like calling, emailing, sending letters, and then attending town halls. Those seem like very like individual actions, but
Mhm.
I think that a city official, if they saw like whole number of people that support a specific idea, like that seems more significant than like one strongly worded letter that comes in, unless somehow their office is like actually like properly like categorizing everyone's letters and things like that. But yeah, if there's a lot of participation, I think that would be important for them to reference it.
Well, Jen, thank you so much. I'm so glad you could go through this. It is always so helpful to have a dry run, and this one in particular, I think we learned a lot just based off of this. So thank you. Is before I let you go, is there anything about the process, the way we did things that you would suggest changing just from the participant perspective here?
Um, I don't think so. That's pretty, yeah, I think everything was explained super well. I appreciated it. Yeah. I didn't know if I like felt like when I like didn't scroll down enough, I felt like. I don't know if that like
There's
if
no right or wrong. It's really
Mhm.
what you would actually do. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's valuable feedback. If people don't scroll, they're not going to see certain things, and it's good to design for that. So, no, it's all good to see. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Take care. All right. Well, we can chat about this. You
Welcome
guys
back.
did a lot of work. Thank you. Yeah, that was unreal.
That was really funny. I'll remind Nico to come in here.
Yeah, he was watching on YouTube. I was just holding my breath when she started using the app. Like, is it gonna work? It worked, so I was
And you
Yeah.
guys met before, right?
No, we have
no, no,
not.
never. No,
No,
Okay,
good to
so
meet you.
welcome.
yeah, so Kyle did the SAP 3.0 research that she just helped me and Damien with. So she's becoming all knowledgeable about change.
I sure
Nice.
am. Yeah.
And then Boris says, "How long have you been at Change?"
Uh, 6.5 years, something
Oh
like that.
wow. So
June
Wow.
2019. So
So he's one of our long established engineers and is amazing at making things come to life in AI in a way that I have not yet learned how to do.
well, the thing with this demo is that it self-destruct after 1 hour. Like literally, if someone stay 1 hour on this app, it just destroy itself.
Yeah.
Nothing works anymore. So it is really funny to me too. But for the sake of user research, that actually works as long as it doesn't last more than an hour. So it's great.
Do you think that's a Vercel like built-in feature for us to upgrade? It's like, yep, you can create
Yeah.
code very quickly, but if you want it for more than 1 hour, you got to pay
No,
more.
it's just authentication. Authentication is always the thing that provides zero value in terms of, the product itself. It's so hard to do well engineering wise. So yeah, but we're on it. We're gonna fix it. Yeah.
That's
Anyway, yeah,
interesting.
that's a side
By the
track.
way, quick thing on this, Boris, but like that might not be helpful, but for the purpose of the interviews, we don't care about the authentication. I mean, we just care about the flow.
Yeah. No,
It'll be
I
fake.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be fake. We have a fix. Like we're gonna ship a fix basically, and it worked. And so as long as it's the first time they're on it for the first hour, it works anyway. So it's fine. As a fix should be shipped this afternoon, and so yeah.
Cool.
But yeah,
Right.
yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was a sidetrack. I really enjoyed watching it. I lost focus a few times, but I really enjoyed being able to watch someone going through this.
Great. How did the YouTube stream work out? Is that something we want to go ahead with? Would that work or?
Nico, you were the main one in there. I pulled it up just to like make sure it was working and like to see what I could see, but I mostly stayed in Zoom. So how was YouTube for you?
Wait, what? Like everybody joined the Zoom? I was like a good student. I was like,
You
I'm
were
going
very good.
where
We needed
I'm
all of the things.
I'm going where I'm being told to go. No, it worked fine. Yeah, all good.
Okay. Yeah, the latency, there's like a 10-second delay. Um, you know, if anybody's observing and they're giving me any feedback through Slack, like go back, have them ask this, just know that it'll be a little late coming to me. It won't be exactly in the moment, but I'll see it eventually.
Okay.
Well, and in
But do
general,
you
we should
expect
not
that?
expect
Yeah.
to have her take our feedback. It's like, it's
That was
optional.
my guess, because like when I've run interviews, I often find it like it's hard
It's
to
hard. Usually I
do both.
designate one chatter because sometimes, I totally get like,
Yeah.
just ask this one thing and that's fine, but if it's too much from multiple people, it's like, whoa, way too crazy. But yeah, I'm fine with opening it up to one chatter if needed.
Okay.
But the timing wise, so uh, never enough time. We have so many good questions, and it's hard in terms of priority. Obviously, we're not going to be able to ask every single question that's in the guide, and we didn't get to a good bit like about credibility. Um, but I think we covered it and what she was doing, but the purpose, the value, I know I don't know if there's any shifting of priority in terms of the questions that get asked first, if you want to change that around or not.
I'm curious what others think, but honestly, my gut feeling is this is already a lot of information. Um, it's like there's already, it's always fascinating when you do those things because you learn so much. Some stuff, we had in mind, some stuff not necessarily. Um, I would say that in order of like maybe importance, the usability feels to me the most critical.
Mhm. Okay.
Just because like we can talk about credibility, but like if they just don't see that they need to do something, or you know, or like the sharing, for example, for me was like it's fascinating. She's like, oh, am I sharing the site? Like those are things that's like we're just not saying the right stuff, right? It's just
Okay.
like so obvious in my mind. Like if someone is like, I or like is thinking that they should like their expectation of the action is different from what we intend, that's clear. Right?
Yeah.
So if anything, I'd say that's my view. I'm curious again what others think, but like the key things that we are thinking about, entering, sharing an idea, authenticating, sh sharing, so sharing an idea is in like publishing an idea, authenticating, sharing, voting on more ideas. Like if already we're able to have them go through that flow, and the second one gather all the information around things that they might miss, thing that they don't understand. For me, we have like level one.
Mm-hmm.
Everything above this on motivation, credibility is great. But I think it matters more for me that we go through all the flows than trying to get more insights on the sort of deeper level motivations. I think. Yeah, that's where
Okay,
I'm at.
yeah, I can prioritize the probes for each screen level thing. I was a little bit stressed because we weren't getting to like all the deeper motivation stuff at the end. And if those follow-ups aren't as important, then that's good to know.
I mean, Kyle, I'm
Okay.
not sure if I totally agree. So
Okay.
I think we need to take the lens of like, what can we only learn by talking to people and watching them versus like, what will we be able to measure once it's live? And so I thought what you did was great, right? And I know we didn't get to all of the like credibility and whatever, but you sprinkled in enough and enough of it came up throughout that I think that was fine, right?
Okay.
Because we got a sense of like what kind of idea would she post? She was concerned about who it was coming from and was it really from the city? Like, so we got enough of that that I think we would be fine with that level, but I wouldn't want to cut any more of it. I wouldn't want to do even less. And I don't think we need to like belabor did you know how to use the button in trade off learning about like, well, would you even post here? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so we
I
want
agree
to
with
hear
that.
the like, um, we want to hear the motivational stuff more than I think we need to like really hammer home every single probe on every single screen. And if you want me to like go through and like mark ones that either like I could just strike through some and be like, I think we can live without these probes, like we could do that. Well, because
Yeah.
some of it's like, sure, you can observe for all of that, but we don't need to probe on it all.
Feel free to strike out anything, but knowing just that what happened during the dry run seemed like a good mix, that's good to know. Yeah.
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 I can
Yeah, because
include
this
that.
is our one chance to really talk
Yeah.
to people before they're using it.
The one thing I would add is that basically, like at some, it was fine at the end, but I was worried we wouldn't get enough time on the second flow.
Mm,
So that's the only thing. Like I guess in terms of prioritizing, right? I'm like I agree with what Corinne said. Like I think
yeah.
we got a lot of the motivation through having them going through the flow, right? Not necessarily probing with specific question. That was great. Like for me the like who does it go to? The legitimacy question was like we already got enough. Like it was
Yeah.
plenty. But making sure, like, but again, my biggest worry is like this is literally the first person outside of the team really seeing the prototype. And so if they could see all the pages, then great, because that's
Yeah.
already like so much information we'll get
Yeah.
from them just like seeing it.
Now, Nico, when we talked originally, one of the key things you wanted to learn was do they understand what's going to happen? Like that whole deliberation. Like, and I know that's kind of not in the
Hmm,
interface. Did things change or should I don't know what is going to happen
that's
after they
true.
submit an idea.
I think there's a couple things. So one, I think it's kind of true that it changed, and that's not necessarily a good thing. It's just like as we sort of like acknowledging that as we focus on this, we're like really narrowing down like the first things that we need them to do is like voting, contributing ideas. Um, so that's a bit our fault, I think. Um, One aspect though that I think is probably not right at the moment is that the typically the how, I think it's how, like that section with the carousel, like she didn't see it, you know.
Mhm.
So I mean, I still care that people do understand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here I think like that was a bit of a all right, they just do not see it, but at least she did it, right?
Yeah.
uh and I suspected a little bit. I mean, that was flagged already by some folks. Like Ben mentioned that, or interesting. Like some people don't care about it. I think Ben does. Ben, the CEO, he was like
Mhm.
that should probably be shorter and more visible without scrolling. Uh, that at least this interview seems to validate that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, asking them what they would expect to have happen next,
Sure.
them not seeing that carousel, we're probably not going to get that, but just as long as we're aware and okay with everything else we're getting. I do have a
I
question
guess
about,
I,
oh, go
I
ahead.
guess like maybe if time allows, if asking them what they assume will happen, perfect.
Mhm.
That we should do anyway. If time allows, I'm still interested in like pointing them to that section and just checking whether what's in that section makes sense to them or answers,
Getting
what
their
they
reaction.
yeah. Because ultimately we'll want to have this information shared in a way that's more visible.
Mhm.
And it's probably going to be a similar type of information.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So if there's time, I'll have them get their reactions to the carousel. And it's good to know if they don't stumble across it on their own. Um, in terms of observers, so the way the live stream thing works, I can't create the live stream link until after I start the meeting. So I'm going to start each meeting about 10 minutes early, and I will immediately share that live stream link. Now, I can create calendar invites that are just for observers and then update that calendar link like I did for this one right beforehand, or I can just send you the calendar or the live stream link to send to the observers that will be at certain sessions. Either way, whatever's easiest.
I think it'd be nice to do the first option because
Mhm.
we want to allow a broader swath of folks to come. And I think if you put one of us in the middle, then we might not get it out in time.
Okay, so I'll create calendar invites for the observers for each session. I just need a list of observers. So if someone wants to send that to me, that would be awesome.
Do you want to
Can
go ahead?
well we could just because if you have the invite to us, then we can add people, right?
As long as
Oh,
you
good.
so there's settings on meetings where you can allow others to edit the meeting. So you can allow us to edit the meeting, or to invite others. There's two, I think, levels of permission there. Is there a squad, like group thing that she could
No,
invite?
no.
Is
And
it? It's probably easier if I do it for you guys. There'll be 10
Yeah.
that will have to be updated.
that's fair. To
Yeah.
be honest, like I have already created my own like calendar blocks because I wanted to make sure I would
Yeah.
Mhm.
join. But yeah, I guess we could also because I was thinking, Corinne, like fantasy, I think it's useful. I also don't want them to spend like 10 hours
I
there
mean, they're not billing
because
us any extra, right? So I think it's up to them. We did what we agreed is that in order to make this fast, that you would go to all of them and we would have a daily debrief at the end of every day. And so fantasy, like, I think should have the option. Like they
yeah,
can decide which ones to come to and they can decide to come to the daily debrief. But like we're not gonna like that's kind of the main way they're going to be getting the feedback unless they want to wait until like Tuesday, at which point it's still very much like a casual synopsis, right?
yeah. I think I guess my only worry was mostly Jasper. Like I didn't want him to spend too much, like because he needs to work on those things. But maybe actually the hours, anyways, are outside
Maybe, and maybe
of the
it's
work.
somebody else and maybe they'll only attend part, even if they only came to the daily debrief, like that's good.
Yeah.
Um,
Do we have that scheduled actually?
We do not. So tomorrow goes to 6 p.m. Eastern. Do you want to do it like as soon as it's over? We'll just jump right into the debrief, or do you want time in between? Anything is fine.
Let's do it straight away.
Okay. And do we want to set it for an hour, a half hour?
Um, this is going to be 2 interviews, right?
The two interviews. Yep. I
Yeah.
did let the recruiter know. I noticed they didn't create earlier slots, even though I'm available earlier, because they had 10. And they might throw in one earlier, but I don't think
Right.
so, based off of what I'm seeing so far. Yeah.
but they haven't filled Monday yet, right?
Well, oh no, they have not filled Monday yet.
Okay.
Let's do 30 minutes for now.
Okay, so at the end of each testing day, and we'll do it for
Yeah.
as soon as the last one's done.
You could also
Yeah.
do like 45 minutes or give yourself a 5-minute break first and then go to the 45 or something like that, depending what you want. I'm available to stay longer than 30 minutes if needed at the end of each of these testing days.
And do we want this to be for Friday and for Monday? That's 5 o'clock Eastern that they end, both testing days, and those will be 4 each, which is longer to go through. So I would suggest um, at least 45 minutes for those because it just usually takes longer to discuss everything that went down. We can condense it, but I don't know how you all feel about that.
That's fine. I'm expecting the first day. Actually, there may be more to discuss because we may run into hiccups.
Yeah,
So, I
yeah.
mean,
what
you
do
could
say?
always make it an hour for all of them, and then we can end early if we end early.
Okay. Yeah. And how do you feel about that? Is that good?
Yeah, good for Friday, for Thursday. Friday, I might not be able to, and Monday is fine.
Okay.
But
Okay,
you should
so
go ahead anyways.
okay.
And I won't be at every one because some of
Mhm.
these are like at 6 a.m. my time.
Yeah, yeah, no.
What? Yeah, that makes sense.
I know you like
Uh,
I've been staying up so late working. There's no way I'm going to a 6 a.m. research
yeah,
session.
I
Yeah,
was
I don't know
like,
how you're doing it.
yesterday was late. Yesterday was late for you, Corinne. Okay, so one question. So okay, we do 1 hour just right after the interviews. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. No, 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Friday, 6 p.m. as well.
Friday is 5
It's
p.m.
5,
when it
yeah.
ends, and
So
same with Monday.
this debrief, I will probably miss some of it, but
Okay.
I'll be around at the beginning. Uh, we can send you the list. I'll drop a note to Fantasy. I can send you. I guess I'm gonna send it to you right now, so it's done.
Yeah, if you send me the list of observers and also I guess they would be the same attendees for the debriefs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
think.
I wonder if you'd like to invite Ben as optional and Steve as optional.
Yeah, that was my other question.
And then like
Um,
I'd invite the design team as optional. Um,
well, so my only thing, Corinne, is like I'm happy to invite more folks
yep.
to the debriefs. I also think we want it to be not too many people, um, just so that we can have a conversation. Like a group of 10, for example, is too much.
Oh, I just meant for like watching live so they can
Yeah,
build
yeah, yeah.
empathy and like get a sense of things, not for the debriefs. I apologize for the confusion.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. Okay.
So you're gonna send her the debrief list, and then I'm just gonna type up and put into the channel the observers for sessions.
Okay.
Um, who from the core team, Boris and you,
You can
anybody else
also,
working on this?
yeah, you can also add optional Eric.
Which
Uh,
Eric?
I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
Would you want me to send it there for Eric? And um, Carlos. Uh, that's the team.
Okay.
And so then for the debrief, I think Boris. Corinne. Nicole. And then Stacy from Fantasy. I think she's the most important.
For the
And
debrief.
potentially, yeah.
Yeah,
Stacy,
I mean
Vanessa.
they probably, yeah, probably Vanessa. I don't know. They should figure it out amongst themselves, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Let's do Stacy, Vanessa, and I'll drop a note in the fantasy Slack channel. You there, Kyle, as well, anyways. And if they can tell us like if they want more. And yeah.
Okay.
Let me do that right now, actually.
So Kyle, do you want to talk about, I took some notes on stuff. Do you want to walk through any of the specifics right now?
If you'd like to, yeah. I mean, about in terms of what to include
Yeah,
for what
just little
distinction the
things
prototype.
that I noticed.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be useful to, at the top, to confirm where they live. I noticed we don't actually know what city they're in. And if we had time, it'd be nice to be like, oh, how would you describe your city or something? But that's not important given the time constraints. And then obviously, like before we start flow A, we can set the context that like, so for the prototypes, you're going to see your city is called Fairbridge, and just imagine that is Denver or wherever it is they say they live.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, I think I should update the SMS. I think that there's a couple key things that are missing because I did it so fast. Like it should indicate who it's from and that they're working with change.org. So just some of the key objections to see if we still get the it feels like phishing.
Okay.
I also, Nico, was wondering what you would think of using a URL that simulates being like a city of Fairbridge URLs. So it'd be like fairbridge.gov/planning or something like that,
Mm,
instead of a change.org. My guess is if we did that in real life, that would be like a landing page that would then link to our site.
yeah. The challenge, it's interesting. I don't want to do this because we will not necessarily partner with the city.
Okay.
So there might be cases in which like they are on board,
Yep.
but they won't be clients, and we will never, or we will not, at least the plan. We don't need the permission to do it.
Yeah.
So I want to
Yeah.
walk that line and feel from people like if they don't feel comfortable with this
Yeah.
as like not coming from the city, we need to address it by addressing it differently from making it coming from the city.
Okay, so who should it say it's from? That's coming from change.org,
Yeah.
can I say working with the city of Fairbridge, or is that still too far?
I would love to like we might sometimes, but also sometimes we might not. So I'm interested in potentially the hardest,
Yep.
right? Which is when we're not.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, so I'll keep it pretty similar to what it is, but I'll make it clear it's
yeah,
coming from us and that we're like an
yeah,
independent entity
yeah,
helping with the whatever. I'll just
yeah.
tweak it slightly. Um, I took a screenshot, Kyle, in the top right, and I don't know if you see this right now. It has the little YouTube animation.
Yes.
So just wanted to make sure you knew that was there in addition to the little warning.
Morning. Yeah, I just tapped out an email to the recruiter. I want to make sure she's making them aware so that they don't freak out and not join.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so Nico, I don't know what Boris's plans are in terms of tomorrow, if he's gonna try to build Flow B or we keep it in Figma. I think it'd be good to update the copy, the places we updated the copy after Boris had already started. So like the copy on like say the login modals isn't up to date. So we should work with Boris on that. I also think, Nico, that it's worth me rewriting the text for the checkbox about being anonymous. And I can use language more similar to what we use on the signature page right now, where it says something about like, don't show it publicly. And so then we can still get that feedback, but it'll be a little maybe remove some of that just confusion of language objection.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense to me.
so then, oh, and then like SMS was missing as a sharing option. So that's another Boris task. I think that's important because that's a common way people will want to share the idea. So hopefully that's a quick fix. Um, I think that it would be great if um, we did a shorter thank you page. I think the fact that you have to scroll so far to find continue, like we thought it would be an issue. It's an issue. Let's not wait for 10 more people to see it to decide it's an issue.
Yeah.
So if I do a revised mock-up, do you think Boris would be up for tweaking that page?
I mean, it always depends on the scope, but that doesn't seem to be the worst.
Okay. It probably still won't be above the fold unless you want me to do something more radical. But like it has the illustration and text, like I would try to kind of condense it a bit, but we could do something like docking the CTA so it overlaps or something more radical if needed, but that'll be harder to implement.
And just so
So it's that
clicking
page,
here,
yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can also make those buttons shorter. So there's a few avenues I have, but like as long as we're still showing her idea right there. Do you like how I
That
made
was
it?
we agree, right? That was like, for me, that was the most striking thing. She was like, what am I sharing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it hopefully said that, right? I didn't actually pay attention to whether that was on was that in Boris's V0? I don't know.
Uh,
Anyway, so I'll make some changes here, and then if Boris can get it in, great.
yeah. And you thinking, what changes are you thinking?
Make those white buttons shorter and take out the illustration.
Okay. So it moves
Maybe
that one up.
shorten the text at the top.
Yeah.
We could go more radical if you want, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. To be honest, like let's do that. I think it
Okay.
will help.
Yeah. It may not be.
And like like where my head is still going is like the stepper thing. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
that's not the right idea, but I
Okay.
just feel, yeah.
And then Kyle, the last thing for you is that whole taps on screen thing. It was definitely hard to tell what she was clicking on. I messaged Akshay, the new user researcher, to see if he'd had any fixes for that. But when I Googled around, the only thing I could find is to have people change an iOS or Android setting that makes like their cursor visible. And I don't know if we want to ask people to do that.
I can just tell just from the last one that could take a long time
Yeah.
with some of these folks that are not too savvy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree. I think setting those expectations when I'm talking about the prototype and what to expect, that we will not be able to see their tapping if they could verbalize, I'm trying this, I'm tapping here, and just maybe try and remind them to do that more.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you have other avenues to like see if anybody else has figured out a fix, feel free. But as far as I
Okay.
could tell, it's like I found a post from 2021 with a researcher who's like, I would really like this feature. And all these people are like, yes, me too.
Yes.
And then crickets. So as far as I can tell, nothing has happened.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, that was literally the only post I found about it. So if they added it as a feature in the last 5 years, I wouldn't know. But I couldn't find it. So
Yeah.
that's it. That's all I had is that stuff and then like the debrief and the YouTube links, like how we were going to handle the observers, which we already went over. So
Yeah.
Okay. No, you mentioned before about the daily debriefs. Is the expectation that we're just doing daily debriefs? Am I doing any kind of readout like I did for SAP, or is this much more light?
I think what we talked about I don't remember what we talked about in specific artifact, but yes, there should be artifacts. How we want to do it, I think, is up to us to figure out. But like, I want this, I want other people to be able to read it and look at it. And I want the research to live on and not just be sort of lost in the ephemera of time. So I think yes. And we should just figure out what does that look like for you time wise? I know we talked about this before and I apologize. I've forgotten the nitty gritty of it.
Yeah, I was questioning or wondering when you would want that by.
I'm trying to see if I think so what I have down from my notes before is we estimated about 2 weeks total on this project. So budget wise, that's kind of where I was at. Um, So like I don't know if we could have everything kind of wrapped up by the end of next week, then whatever kind of readout and artifacts are doable within like Tuesday through Friday would be what we would have time for in terms of sort of analysis and readout.
Oh, yeah. Tuesday and
And it
Friday.
doesn't have to be like a formal presentation necessarily, but just like a capturing of the learnings in a way that like that lets that live on for the team.
Would the because I could get done the Miro board like I did before where we have all the findings listed out, all the post-it notes and all that. I could have that done, not a deck by then. A
Yeah.
deck would go into next week.
Which is
But I could
actually
definitely
fine, but it just depends on like, is that sort of 2 weeks worth of hours? Because I know
it'll
you
be
didn't work
over.
Monday, Tuesday, but you did work Friday. So like you tell me.
Yeah, it would be over if we went into next week. But I can definitely get everything into the Miro board and the analysis and the full list of recommendations in there.
Okay.
Uh,
Nico, is having a more polished presentation useful to you? Is that something you want to kind of think about budgeting in and doing a little extra time with Kyle to make that happen? So like a presentation to
Yeah,
Steve
yeah,
and then
yeah. I think, do we have to decide now? Because like in my mind, I'm like, maybe it depends on like what comes out of it. Um, like if things are like really clear, and we already have the direction, and Steve and Ben are like, yeah, that makes sense.
right.
Then
Yeah, you don't have to decide now for my time. Just so you know, I'm working on lining something up starting November 3rd. So if you utilize me that last week, the week of the 27th, great. I'm available. If not,
yeah,
it's okay.
yeah,
No, I think we
I
definitely would like the Miro part at least. So definitely
yeah,
plan on the week of the 27th. I think so, Nico, it sounds like if
Oh,
you
did I
want,
say 27th?
uh,
Yes, I meant the week of the 27th. Right. Okay. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so like if you want the polished deck, which I mean, I personally do think has value if I had to pick, but it's not my money. It'd be like we'd want to ask Kyle to hold a few days aside for us, right? Or
yeah. I mean, I think it does. My hesitation just is like practically because we're moving so fast. Like, I really index more on how we're gonna distill those learning in the next like 5 days. Uh,
I
and
agree. I think it's the deeper learnings that like I could imagine us coming back to over and over,
yeah,
especially when
yeah.
the new designer starts. So if you want to like make a decision tomorrow, you want to talk to Steve and be like, "Hey, how do you feel about a little bit more budget for this so that we
What's
have a more
the
lasting artifact?"
how much are we talking about?
Um,
Probably, probably 8 hours, maybe 6 to 8.
yeah.
So that's a day, right? Or two or something.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. And what's your like
So it's about a
rate?
thousand dollars.
Yeah.
And you will have
Yeah.
the data in the Miro board if
I
you
yeah, I
choose to
mean
scrape it
that's
later.
fine. Let's just make the decision now. This is fine.
Okay.
Um yeah. It doesn't add that much to the overall.
Okay.
So yeah, let's do it. The question I had was around the debrief. What's your like how do you want to run it?
Oh, typically what I do is I go through and what were the aha moments for each one? Let's talk about it. If there's any prototype changes or any changes to the discussion guide we want to make going into the other ones, that's priority.
Okay.
And then we get into the aha moments and what do we think of that?
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think for me, like the best outcome is like for the designers and us all to understand like kind of what we did with the thank you page. Like that's a good example for me. So
Yeah.
we like if possible, right? We could even like use a bit of that time to say, well, then what do we want to do? You know, or like have a kind of act, not necessarily the specific solution, but if Stacy, for example, comes out of it and says, "Oh yeah, okay, so like this, I need to rework." Great, because we've sort of like had a full loop of insight, you know, planning, sort of condensed, right?
Mhm.
So that for me, if we can leave a bit of space for that, I think is great, because then we don't have to wait another cycle or like coming back to her and say, okay, so then what do we do? We can make that decision during that debrief. So
Yeah.
it's sort of like a debrief planning sort of moment.
We will still have the daily stand-ups with the fantasy team. So I would say like we should prioritize covering all of the stuff and only do the planning piece if there's remaining time.
Yeah. But see, like what you did just earlier with
Yeah,
the thank you page, that for me, like I'm not saying we should like necessarily identify the solution during the time, but
right.
identifying like what needs to be worked on, I think
Yeah.
that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it is one of those things that'll become more clear as we go along, right? Because on day one, you've only heard from two people. But yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, it can be a
Okay.
slippery slope, right?
Because you can overcorrect in
Yeah.
response to specific people before you see the pattern.
That's true. That's true.
Because you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this person couldn't do this thing at all. And then you're like, wow, the next eight people
Yeah.
are fine.
That's true, but the reason I like here, things I'm happy to have that filter, but like here it was like something we suspect, something we know doesn't work.
Yeah,
Someone tells you like really the clear things, right? It's like I don't understand. Or like clearly thinks it's different from what we intended to be.
sure.
Yeah, we don't need like 10 people to tell us that.
Fair.
All right.
All right.
Oh, the dogs have he's, I think the dog literally thought you were here and was like, wait, there's people here.
Quick thing, Corinne, I will send a message to the leadership folks, but I'm holding because um, I want to share the link to the prototype at the same time, or the MVP at that stage, and this is still a bit broken, so I'm gonna hold a little bit and then send that message a bit later.
Sorry, send the message about the joining the research.
Yeah, which
Okay.
is basically also saying we have the site live. so it's sort of two messages in one.
And you're okay with me creating the calendar invites though, but then you could add to them if you want to.
Yeah, but Corinne, you were going to share the list of folks, right? To invite?
Oh, is that in the, I see there's a list
I
that you
just
have.
haven't hit send yet because I was
Oh,
like
okay.
going back and checking to see who I invited to the SAP one. Um, so that's why I'm just multitasking. You know how it goes.
So do you want me to hold off on sending those calendar invites? Or
I'll finish this list right now.
No,
okay.
that's fine. I'll do, yeah, go ahead. I will do it differently.
Okay.
Okay. There's that list. So, Nico, do you not want her to include Ben and Steve on that?
No, go ahead. I'll just frame the message differently.
Okay.
I'll just
And
send
then
it.
I'll send a message to that same channel with the fixes that I proposed and a query to Boris about what he wants to try to tackle for tomorrow.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right,
Great.
so we're in that list of observer, or I'm sorry, for the debrief, we're just limiting it to them, right? We're not going to include all the observers for the debrief, right?
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, excellent.
And you can, I guess maybe in the observer invite, tell people to feel free to note down like ideas or questions they have and funnel them to like me and Nico. Or Nico, would you like them to put it in like the squad deliberation channel if say, let's say like Lizzie is watching or Carlos is watching and they're like, oh, I have a question or that made me think about X.
Yeah.
Where would you like them to push that feedback?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Squad deliberation.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Copy name.
And is that what I should be calling this, that people understand deliberations, not ideas for change?
Deliberation is the overall like project. Ideas for change is the
Consumer.
specific product. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
do you, if for the observer invites, should it say like user research for ideas for change?
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
And like when I just made invites for myself, Kyle, I noted like creator plus liberal, consumer plus. And I don't know
Oh,
if creator and consumer like other people would know what that meant, but I think like knowing the political lean, people might be like, "Oh, I want to sit in on a conservative one." Like you might get a
right.
higher take rate on those because that's not something we've gotten to do a lot of in the past.
Okay, yeah, got it.
How's this feeling to you? Is it feeling too
Good.
chaotic or coming together okay?
No, I'm just amazed at what you guys created in such a short amount of time. No, it's great. It came together beautifully.
It did, and we were planning to have it be black and white, but Boris was like following along, and every time the visual designer at Fantasy would make something, he's like, "I'm going to try to mock that up." And so then by the time their wireframe handoff was ready, he was like, "Actually, it'd be harder for me to go back to black and white than to just keep going with what I've already been doing." So we were like,
Nice.
"Okay, well, there we go." It shocked the crap out of the agency, but that was okay.
Yeah, they literally didn't
I bet.
understand.
Yeah, they were like, wait, we have to do so much work now. And we're like, no, no, you're good. You're good. Stop. You're fine. You did good work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was funny.
Yeah. It's fascinating. All right.
All right. Thank you so
All
much, Kyle,
right,
for
yeah,
jumping
Thank
right
you,
you're
back in.
Kyle.
welcome. You're welcome.
Hope you have a
Bye-bye.
good night.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Bye.